Welcome to this week's installment in our Football Officials video training series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Rules and five-man mechanics. Our technical advisors are Greg Dallin, Dax Hill, Tyrone Blanks, George Demetrio, and this week we welcome Grant Jackson from the Southeast Conference on staff. Video assistance provided by Jim Woods. Our executive producer is Walt Coleman. I'm your host, Todd Allen. This video is brought to you by the Arkansas Association of High School Officials. Visit our website at www.aahso.com. We're helping good officials get better. This video is brought to you by the Reading Study Guide. The Reading Study Guide for NFHS Rules. This is a book I've used personally for my entire career, and I highly recommend it to help you be the best you can be at the NFHS rules. The Reading Study Guide. When you're through learning, you're through. All right, ready to get the third training tape of the year started. Thanks for checking things out. I've got another big stack of plays to look at. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can today. I want to start out with this first play. Take a look at this one. And what we're going to be talking about here in rules discussion is Rule 7.5.12. And that just simply reads, an ineligible A players may not advance beyond the expanded neutral zone on a legal forward pass play before a legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. If B touches the pass in or behind the neutral zone, this restriction is terminated. An ineligible is not illegally downfield if at the snap he immediately contacts a B lineman and that contact does not continue beyond the expanded neutral zone. Some pretty important things to look at here when we talk about this play, and it can trick you up, I understand. But let's talk about this legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. So the element is once the pass is in flight. The second element of this is it crosses the neutral zone. Now that doesn't mean that the eligibles can't be beyond the neutral zone before the ball crosses the neutral zone. It just means that if the ball does not cross the neutral zone, then this eligibility requirement is out the window. They can go as far as they want. So basically what we're talking about is a screen pass that's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, or any pass thrown behind the line of scrimmage. These are typical bubble screens. Then these players can get out beyond the neutral zone expanded, whether or not they are engaged or not engaged, and they can legally block down the field as far as they want to, perfectly legal. So now we take a look at this play. And a couple of things that catch you off guard here on this one. Now if you just look at the play once like this in fast motion, it looks like these linemen are 5 yards downfield when the ball is thrown. That's because you can't see the passer. You can't see when the ball leaves his hand, so you just think about when the ball crosses the neutral zone like this, and look, you see where these guys are. Look, here's the ball here, and you see these linemen here. So that kind of trips you up a little bit. But let me back it up here and show you just as the ball gets into the frame. Now you see this is the ball here, and you look, the ball is snapped at the 46-yard line. Let me run this back. 46-yard line here. Now you see, now here's the ball in this frame, and you see this lineman at the 49-yard line. So he's engaged and only 3 yards downfield. Certainly we wouldn't want this to be thrown as an ineligible downfield. He's very close to the expanded neutral zone. But when we continue the ball and get it here to the neutral zone, look at all of these players downfield. So now let's take a look at the pass. You see this player at the 45-yard line jumps, and this pass is overthrown. So let me just stop it right here. What is the offense attempting to do? They're attempting to throw this little bubble screen out here in the left flat. The fact that the pass is overthrown, it then goes beyond the neutral zone, which if these players had been downfield earlier in the play, you would think about ineligibles downfield. Now here's where we are able to get out of this play without throwing a flag. We just refer to the philosophies. And the simple way to remember these screen passes is just officiate the play as they intended to run it. The fact that this ball is overthrown, and where we go for this philosophy is the advantage-disadvantage, which is so important. We know we wouldn't throw a hold that happened 10 yards behind the play, but if you read the rule, that's technically a violation of the rule. But by using our philosophies and advantage-disadvantage, we don't call these holding fouls because they have no effect on the play. Now we're going to take that same advantage-disadvantage philosophy and apply it to a screen pass. If a screen pass is overthrown, we do not want to call ineligibles downfield because there was no advantage or disadvantage gained. Now, if they intended to throw this ball to a receiver who is beyond the line of scrimmage, then it's clearly an ineligible downfield, even if they overthrow the pass. But this play, you can see this player jumps at the 45-yard line. They're trying to throw the ball in or behind the neutral zone. And this is a play that we got from one of our coaches. It's a great play to talk about, and a great play to talk about the philosophy that keeps us from needlessly interjecting our officiating into the game. No one comes to watch us officiate. Let's just make the games fair. And let's use these philosophies, which make great sense when you apply the advantage-disadvantage, and you're able to not needlessly throw flags, needlessly interject yourself into the game. This is one of our many philosophies that will help you become a better official, help you manage the game better, and when you do these things, you begin to separate yourself from other officials. This is a play potentially called ineligible downfield, correctly not called by this crew who used our philosophy on overthrown screen passes. All right, take a look at this, and you can tell by looking at this, it's going to be something tough, because these kick plays are always tough. It's the thing that we get the least amount of repetition. They have their own crazy set of rules. We get these people scattered out all across the field. We're all scattered all across the field. They're just very, very difficult to do with any number of officials. So 5, it's incredibly difficult. So preaching to the choir, I know, but we just got to really, really focus and concentrate on these plays. And this is another plug for having a great pregame, because in pregame, you can talk about these kick plays in phases and who is looking at who. It's so critically important that we divide the responsibility and we get all 10 eyes from 5 officials looking at different players on the field. And we'll talk more about kick plays and phases. It's something we've visited on in previous training videos, but we'll do it again later in the year. But no time tonight. But let's just look at this play, and I just want to show you one quick thing here. Keep your eye on this player right here. And now let's just watch this action on this kick play. And right out in the open field, boom, that's a reverse takedown. There's a holding foul right there, and no one sees it. We missed this call big out in the open field. And the only thing that can explain it is that everyone's watching the ball. Because, I mean, this is wide open and in areas where there's not a lot of contact. There's maybe 3, 4 players at the most that are engaged at all here from the kicking team. And this one is wide open in space, and it's a reverse takedown. And that's a category of a holding foul, a reverse takedown. And I want to just mention here how important it is to think about these plays in categories, because when you begin to place these fouls in different categories, you begin to see them in much more detail because you're looking for more detail. You want to be very descriptive in the way you put these into foul categories. This one here, the offensive receiving team player just grabs the defender, falls backwards, and pulls him to the ground. A reverse takedown that no one sees. Who's looking at this player in your crew? Show this play in pregame. Talk about it together. Divide up the players and decide in your pregame who's looking at which players. Because we miss this reverse takedown in an open field on a kickoff play. All right, you can tell by our little logo there, this is going to be a swinging gate play, and I don't know that we've ever talked about the swinging gate play in these training videos. So now is a great time to talk about a swinging gate play while I'm dealing with all these crazy kick plays and how difficult they are. So the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to talk about a rule, 7.2.5, and this has to do with player exceptions and numbering requirements. So let's just look at 5 here. Player formation and numbering requirements include A, at the snap, at least 7 A players shall be on the line of scrimmage. B, at the snap, at least 5 A players on their line of scrimmage must be numbered 50 to 79. There are a couple exceptions here. And what I want to talk about here is number 2, and this is on a 4th down or during a kick try. When A sets or shifts into a scrimmage kick formation, any A player numbered 1 through 49 or 80 through 99 may take a position of any A player numbered 50 to 79. An A player in the game under this exception must assume an initial position on his line of scrimmage between the ends, and he remains ineligible for a forward pass during the down unless the pass is touched by B, which is in Rule 7.5.6b. But players of the same team should not participate during the down wearing the same numbers. That doesn't mean anything on this play. So what I'm talking about is this exception. This is the exception to the numbering requirement. This is where you can find it in the rule. And you can see by this that it's only allowed on 4th down or on a kick try. And players that are going to use the exception, they're going to be in the game numbered 1 through 49 or 80 through 99, but they're going to take the position of a player wearing 50 to 79. So they're taking one of those interior lineman position requirements. So they're ineligible through the whole down no matter what they do. They have to take an initial ineligible position and remain in an ineligible position. Now, the important part of this rule and what we're overlooking is, and you can tell by this play, is the requirement for the formation. So let's jump over to 2.14 and look at Article 2. A scrimmage kick formation is one in which no player is in position to receive a hand-to-hand snap from between the snapper's legs. And at the snap, either A, a player is in a position with a knee on the ground, 7 yards or more behind the line of scrimmage, in position to be the holder and receive the long snap, and with another player 3 yards or less behind that player in position to attempt a place kick. So you can see there's some very specific requirements. A player on his knee, 7 yards or more, and another player no more than 3 yards ready to kick it. Somebody down to hold the ball, somebody to kick it. Both of those two players must be there to use this exception. But there's another exception, and this is exception B. A single player is 10 yards or more behind the line of scrimmage and in position to receive the long snap. So if you've got one player back there and he's in a pistol formation or even a shotgun formation, he's 5 or 7 yards back there, but he's the only player, then that's an illegal formation. They cannot use the numbering exception. Now, if they have 5 players numbered 50 to 79 and they use the swinging gate, it's perfectly legal. So the key thing here is, are they using the numbering exception? And you have to know that. And that's the umpire's job on every play, to know if the player's 50 to 79, if there's 5 players in there. So if we throw a flag for an illegal formation because of some violation of these exceptions, and the umpire comes out and says, wait a minute, they weren't using the numbering exception, it's very important the umpire give you that information. Because I had it happen in a game where I throw a flag for an illegal formation and they're not using the numbering exception. And the umpire didn't tell me. And it was 2 days later when I had to call the coach on the phone and eat crow. And that's not fun. We don't want to do that. So it's important that you know these rules, work together with them, study them, talk about them in pregame, talk about the swinging gate plays, and work together as a crew to get these plays right. Remember, in our philosophies, a swinging gate, by its very nature, is a trick play. And trick plays must be 100% legal. They get the highest degree of scrutiny. Running out of time, but I want to get these plays in. A couple of blocks in the back here on a kick play, believe it or not. Still talking about kick plays, but I've got on the Sonic Hotline Dax Hill from the Southeast Conference. Dax is a super official, worked the Southeast Conference Championship game last year, and does a great job as one of our technical advisors on the phone now. Audio's not great, but we're working on that technology. Dax, walk us through this play for a block in the back.
Yes, we actually have 2 blocks in the back on this play. At the 41-yard line, we have a player not in a long chase mode, but he is approaching from the back. And then toward the end of the play, we have another block in the back, could almost also too be a personal foul further upfield. So both officials on the visitor side of the field have to open up their vision, not be watching just the ball carrier, and be looking for potential blocks in the back. The official closest to the end of the run has the best look at the block in the back at the 41, but must not keep entire focus on the ball carrier. The back judge, I believe, who is further upfield, has the best look at the second block in the back or personal foul. And this player, over 10 yards away, locates who he's going to block and approaches upstream. And one thing we have to begin to train ourselves to do also is, as plays begin to wind down, are there players moving much faster than others, which this player is. that's an indication that they're up to some sort of trouble and may commit a foul just like this.
Once again, on the Sonic Hotline, that's SEC back judge Dax Hill. That's the first part of a two-part interview. Next week, we'll have Dax back on, talk some more about things involving the back judge and just some general officiating guidelines and tips that'll help you along. I appreciate Dax joining us in today's video. Well, that's it. That's all I've got time for. And again, I have run long, and I hate to do that, but so I'll wrap this up quickly. Thanks for checking out the video. Remember, it's very, very important that you watch yourself on video. Go through and look at every play mechanically, how you handle it, forward progress spot for line officials, line of scrimmage officials. There's a lot of information you can get by just watching yourself on video. Email address if you have something that you would like to send me, or tell us about how you're using the videos. I'd love to hear from you. Email address is toddallen65@mac.com. Didn't have time to get to my In the Bag this week, so maybe I'll try to get to next week. Todd Allen saying thanks for checking out the video, and I hope to see you on the field soon.